I mean, if you want to, you can.
Brother, it gets so. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Fuck it.
Okay. All right.
Oh no. All right.
Give us the
Title.
title.
My then boyfriend fed my DM my personal trauma for character growth, content warnings, abusive relationship, alcohol abuse, underage drinking, in-game child death, and vomit. Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
The regret is beginning to set in very quickly.
Yes, sir.
All right. So to preface the actual D&D, my then boyfriend and I had gotten together in high school when I was 16 and he was 19. And we had been together for 6 years at that point.
High school, that's not that, like, it's on the edge.
It's on the edge. It's on the edge. I don't know. Yeah.
It's on the edge.
I hadn't really played D&D since the start of our relationship. It was a part of how we got to know each other. But lockdown hit while I was in university on the other side of the country, and I had a couple close online friends who wanted to start a campaign. So I had to finish that.
Okay. Been together 6 years at this point, so we're jumping to 22 and 25 just for like age range context, because I think it's kind of relevant here.
Fair enough. Yes.
So currently 22 and 25 as of story.
We were a small group and played exclusively through video calls using our usual paper, pencil, and physical dice. It was nice to have something to look forward to, and I really enjoyed getting back into D&D after not touching it at all for years. So, I'd tell my boyfriend just how much fun I was having. I'd make the hour-long walk to campus for my classes once the school opened back up, and would fill at that time telling him about all the cool things my friends and I were doing in D&D. He wasn't particularly pleased that I spent so much time talking to other people when I would, and then wouldn't stop talking about it when I called him, and so I just stopped telling him, and we would talk about other things.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Opening red flag.
Ugh. Oh Lord.
He's mad that I'm talking to other human beings. Yikes. Okay.
Our campaign was pretty basic. Our DM pretty forgiving, and since they were my friends and I could constantly back and forth with them about character lore and my PC's family members that would be introduced. So back and forth I did, and my character had tons of siblings with whom they had a tense relationship, one that mirrored my own with my younger sister. Big mistake. Jump forward about 1.5 years / 2 years, and I'm back home from university for Christmas and New Year's.
So this person's like 24 in this situation?
About, yeah. I'm babysitting my younger sister, 16, who has slipped out to meet up with a couple of friends. She came back in a state, the kind of state that has you mopping up blood and vomit at 3 a.m. in tears, Jesus, agonizing over whether or not an ambulance was a good idea. She's fine now, but the whole ordeal was traumatic. There was a lot of blame I laid on myself for not being able to track her down, not knowing who she was with, and not exactly knowing how badly things could have gone under different circumstances. My boyfriend stayed on the phone with me until he fell asleep. I was still emptying buckets of dirty water and trying to get the smell out of wooden floors. Eventually, the term time started. Yeah, this is wild. I almost want to hear a story about what the fuck happened.
What the fuck happened, right?
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
I'm trying to figure out what situation are we mopping up blood and vomit and it's seeping into the wood floor. Like, what the fuck did she... Because, like, the first half of that, you're kind of like, oh, she's 16. She probably went and got really hammered. But it seems like it was more than just she got really hammered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, what the fuck happened?
Can I say, all right, this is maybe, I don't know. When I was younger, I fell a lot. I got hurt a lot. And I never really, like, people are like talk about like that irony smell that it happens when you like get like when there's blood. And not until I was an adult that I could finally smell that smell. And I'm just like, oh, that sucks.
What? What do you mean you couldn't smell it?
Like, I don't know. My body never perceived that irony smell or taste really for that matter until now that I'm an adult and like.
Well, you probably just didn't have a point of reference.
Potentially, yeah. But yeah, now that I'm older, I'm just kind of like, yeah, this sucks.
It's definitely a weird smell. Like once you really lock it in, it is a weird smell for sure.
Yeah, odd mix of salt and burning pennies. Not a good smell.
Burning pennies.
Yeah.
Not exactly how I describe it, but I know what you mean.
Eventually, term time started, and I went back to classes, back to playing D&D, and back to not discussing the campaign with him.
And back to not discussing the campaign.
And back to sweeping this shit under the rug.
And back to just not bringing that shit up ever again.
Around this time, our DM introduced us to a new city with a plague outbreak. And at the city gates, we were informed that my PC's younger brother had traveled through the city ahead of us but hadn't left yet. Said brother had been made the closest one-to-one of my own sister in age and behavior. The city itself took us maybe 4 or 5 sessions to complete, this kid brother being dangled as a carrot on a stick to keep the party moving. When we eventually reached the final gauntlet, it was revealed that he was there the whole time, being tortured in the castle while we searched and solved puzzles, before being infected with vampirism and left as a feral monster in a cage. Nothing could be done. He was essentially dead before we had arrived, and it was cruel and senselessly mean-spirited when compared to the rest of the campaign. I don't... If this is going where I think it's going... Ooh, baby, I really don't like the implications of what are going on with this brother, fam. Oh, I'm not vibing. Oh, the fucking vibes are rancid.
the vibes have gone decrepit.
Yeah. Oh,
truly
God.
rigor mortis.
I was devastated. At this point, I hadn't completely worked through what had happened a couple weeks prior, and I couldn't understand why I was getting so upset about a character in an RPG that had never really had any development. I felt like I was swallowing rocks. I was wet in the eyes, but we were still in a video call and still had the BBEG of the area to take out, so I sucked it up miserably and onward we pressed. The last puzzles are like a haze now. There was something about a severed finger that took me way too long to figure out, and I was kind of useless at that point. But that was what opened the way up to our final fight. Our little party climbed the stairs, and as we entered the final room, Ping, my boyfriend, joined the call. He proudly announced that he was going to play the BBEG for this fight. I don't remember remotely anything about it aside from how awful it felt. After the fight, I just kind of stumbled my way through goodbyes and thank yous, left the call, and broke down, utterly inconsolable. There was just something wrong and disgusting and violating, and I couldn't put my finger on it. A text came through, and it started to unravel. Oh, God. All right, focus yourself. Focus your fucking chakra.
Focus your chakras.
BF, did you have fun?
That one really sent me to the next stratosphere. I was like,
bro,
this fucking guy
homicide is on the menu.
I was like, dude,
put his ass in the ground.
When I saw that part, I was like, wow, why this motherfucker is sadistic. Like,
yeah,
holy
that's
shit.
Fucking nuts. He told me
either he's sadistic or he's so fucking oblivious that he just couldn't register what the fuck was happening. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna be real. That this kind of reeks of sociopathy. Like,
no, yeah,
this reeks of like behavioral disorder.
Yeah, I think that's more likely. But I'm just saying, I guess there is a possibility that he is that fucking clueless, which is crazy.
Yeah, no. Well, no, specifically after this line, absolutely no. They're no clueless. Actual monster. He told me he was speaking to my DM on the sly, had gotten in touch with my friend online after feeling envious of how much time I spent talking with them. Feeling frustrated and wanting to be involved without inserting himself into my friend group, he had begun feeding them ideas for the campaign. A fun boss gimmick here, a dungeon map there, until eventually the two of them had crafted the whole Plague City and the tortured/dead brother. I hadn't told my online friends about what had been happening with my sister, and while one of the other players could tell I was off during the session, nobody had any basis for why. In some fucked up way, he thought this was a good way for me to work through things with your sister, his words. I had to tell my DM exactly what had happened. It was the first time I'd actually put it into words since the incident, and it was very traumatic. I didn't want to tell them, but the way he'd woven something so traumatic to me into a plot point and fed it to my friend to regurgitate to me was disgusting. It had felt so personal because it was personal. I just didn't realize because it had come from a place I assumed safe and separate. Him just showing up to play some grandiose boss at the end was salt in an already festering wound. I'm not with him anymore. Definitely for the better. I don't speak to the DM friend anymore either. They were another issue altogether.
I do wonder what the fuck the DM friend, because like the last chunk there makes it sound like the DM friend just didn't know what was going on, so they didn't know it would be a big deal. But that last little sentence makes it seem like maybe they did know what was going on in some capacity.
No, to me, what that smells of is, but it was good content though.
Like
that's
afterward?
What that's. Yeah, like, you know, him being like, you know,
maybe.
I imagine OP being like, look, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but I do feel a certain kind of way about it, and I'm kind of upset. And in my head, it feels like they were like, well, why are you upset? It was such a good plot point.
That would be, I mean, crazy if true.
Dog, I'm going to jail. I promise you. If someone hit me with either of these scenarios, my ass is going to prison.
And then they hit you with, but it was good content though.
Bro, what was that video you showed me? It's like, then Goldilocks made the pasta not al dente. Oh yeah, she's gonna be real sorry when I bury her in the dirt like the fucking dog that she is. That's me. Yeah. That's me. Well, you don't have to do it. No, I don't have to do it, but I want to do it. That's the problem.
But I want to do it. Yeah, but I want to do it. That's the problem.
Beat that motherfucker's ass.
Yeah, I mean, I just... like,
what happened? Like, I need to know what happened.
What happened? I know.
Like, when you take the content warning... When you do like alcohol abuse, underage drinking, time, what?
What I can gather is basically her sister got to the point of, you know, like severe alcohol poisoning and was throwing up blood. Maybe is like
potentially gave themselves an ulcer. I could see that.
Yeah, something along those lines. That's kind of my first thought, but. I feel like it's got to be more than that though, because you take the brother turned into a feral animal vampire angle, and I'm like, was the turning him into a weird feral monster in a cage, like, was her sister on drugs and acting crazy too? You know what I mean? Like,
dog.
Like, how many parallels were there between? That's what I'm saying. How many parallels were there between the brother in the game situation, right? The fictional brother and the real life sister. How parallel was it? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest. I think you need more than a breakup. I think this motherfucker needs a restraining order.
I mean, maybe, but like, because to me, I'm thinking like, okay, if the GM had this like vampire brother left as a feral cage or left as a feral animal in a cage, that's not so close to the initial description of what happened with her sister to be that. I mean, there's still some awkward parallels, but it's not that bad. But if the weird feral vampire thing was like not an allegory, but like a metaphor for something else that happened to her sister, then you're really pushing it into the next level.
Yeah, Jesus.
And like, I don't know, you know what I mean? We don't we don't have those details, obviously. And she kept saying her relationship with her sister was like strained, but like in what way?
It seems like it. So just given how the brother thing worked, of like, brother just disappeared, don't know where he is, came back in a state. But if I'm so bold as to make some assumptions, maybe younger sister is party animal that cannot be controlled, and this is a repeat problem, and the problem described is the worst instance of the problem.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably the case, but I'm almost wondering if it goes beyond that, if there's another element to it.
Oh, it's such a bad time for a song called Absinthe to come on my playlist. It's a really good song.
Nice. But fair enough. Yeah, so I think that's the worst one I grabbed personally. I think because that one is like just like
brother.
What?
Just there's a lot. There's a lot of a lot.
I mean, yeah. All right, which one should I hit next here?